Welcome to the Wrestling Analyst podcast, Beyond the Bell, where the real story begins after the final bell. I'm your host, Night Stalker Luc Baudier, and together we'll break down the week's biggest moments, analyze storylines, and bring you opinions that hit harder than the steel chair. We will also explore how I would be booking a storyline if I were head of creative. Because here, every match tells a story, and we're here to break it down. So hit subscribe, leave a like, and click that notification bell, and let's go beyond the bell. So, in my opinion segment this week, should Survivor Series go two-night like WrestleMania and SummerSlam? After WrestleMania and SummerSlam has gone two-night, WrestleMania during the pandemic in 2020, and SummerSlam this year in 2025, WWE is thinking about having more events going to two-night events, two PLEs. Now, just like I said a couple of months ago in one of my videos entitled Two-Night Premium Live Events, I think Survivor Series and Royal Rumble are the next two events logically to go to two nights. Why? Simply because WarGames matches take a long time on that premium live event, and there's not much room to have other matches. So apart from WarGame matches, not many wrestlers have a chance really to shine during that event or that PLE. Now, a lot of people are nostalgic about the classic traditional Survivor Series matches. I think that one of the last time we saw some matches during the Survivor Series event itself was in 2019 when you had NXT involved in Survivor Series. I think the big four PLEs, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, and Royal Rumble, I think those four events should give the chance to a maximum of wrestlers to shine and end storylines more often. So here's my idea on this. Both nights should have a WarGames match as the main event. Now, whichever men or women has the most compelling storyline gets the Sunday match. So you could very well have the women's WarGame match go on the main event of Sunday. Why not? And like I said, a lot of times during the PLEs, the best match of the night was a women's match. A lot of times. Not every time, but pretty often. Both nights would get at least one traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series match. And if the main event on Saturday is the women's WarGame match, well, the 5-on-5 is going to be the men's Survivor Series, the traditional Survivor Series match, and vice versa. So on the Sunday, you get the women 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series, and you get the men's WarGames match as the main event. They already made one this year with the MFTs versus Sami Zayn's team. So if it goes to two nights, you take this match and you move it on the PLE itself. And each night you can insert 2, 3, and maybe even 4 matches, additional matches during that event. 4 would be a bit more, bit too much maybe with the length of the matches, but why not? Now, this might not be popular with my audience right now, but I think the main champions for each brand should not be in the War Games, so that they could defend their title on the PLE at Survivor Series. Now, they could be in the War Games matches if the storyline really demands it. Best example I can give you this year would be Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre. They're in the match to make their storyline, their feud advance even more. And if you watched my last podcast with my booking room where I talk about Cody's title, you'll see a little bit why I say that this is not over, of course, and you would see where I was going with this booking room. Just a parenthesis there. Now, I would even make an NXT PLE on a Saturday afternoon in an arena and make 2 traditional Survivor Series matches on that PLE, one for men, one for women, for NXT talent. Why not? So here is the card I would make if I was head of creative, even though it's not my booking room segment, but I'm just pitching my card there for Survivor Series 25 if it was a 2-night event. So night 1 on Saturday, November 29th would be, the opening match would be the traditional Survivor Series match for the men's with Team Sami Zayn. Then Sami, Rey Fenix, Shinsuke Nakamura, and the Motor City Machine Guns. And they would go against the MFT. Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, JC Mateo, and Tala Tonga. I would have an Intercontinental Championship match. And the funny thing is I had Dominic Mysterio as the champion because I wrote this before Monday Night Raw. But now it would be John Cena defending the title against Dominic Mysterio. I would have a women's U.S. championship match between Chelsea Green and Julia, who would get her rematch for the title. I would have a singles match that maybe would end that storyline, even though I think it's still too soon to end this. I would have Carmelo Hayes versus The Miz. I would have a World Tag Team Championship match with Dragon Lee and AJ Styles versus The New Day. And the main event would be the women's WarGame match with Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, and AJ Lee. And they would go against Asuka, Kairi Sane, Lash Legend, Nia Jax, and Becky Lynch. And again, I wrote this before Raw on Monday. So I already had Becky and AJ in that match. Now, night 2. The opening match would be the women's traditional Survivor Series match. So I threw in there 5 women on each side. And I would have maybe Team Lyra Valkyria with Lyra and Bayley as the leaders, with Michin, Natalia, and Tiffany Stratton. And on the other side, I would have Team Judgment Day, or Team Roxanne Perez. Roxanne, Raquel Rodriguez, Nikki Bella, Kiana James, and Alba Fire. Although now Nikki Bella is more involved with Stephanie Vaquer, so that's another proof that I wrote that before Monday Night Raw. I would have a United States Championship match with Ilya Dragunov defending against Tommaso Ciampa. I would have a WWE Women's Championship match between Jade Cargill and another powerhouse, Jordynne Grace from NXT. I would have a WWE Tag Team Championship match with the Wyatt Six versus the Street Profits. And of course, the main event would be the men's WarGames match with Team CM Punk, with CM Punk, Jay and Jimmy Uso, Cody Rhodes, and Roman Reigns. And they would go against Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul, and Brock Lesnar. So having a two-night Survivor Series would be beneficial for WWE. Why? Well, more revenues, better chances to have endings to major storylines, showcase more talent to prepare future stars, and cities would want to get those events because of the economic impact for them. And of course, increased streaming and social media interaction and increased sponsorship opportunities. So all these could benefit WWE, but there are pros and there are cons, of course, and possible risk of a two-night event when there might be too much, and that's why I would stick to the big four, and that's it. I would not have any other PLE going to two nights. I would stick with just those four. Production and operating costs. Of course, when you go two nights, you double the production cost. And of course, the ticket pricing. Two-night events can cost a lot for the average wrestling fans. And that's why they should make only 4 per year and not return to the same city for 4 or 5 years for one of those PLEs. Anyway, there's so many cities that they can go that, and I'm just talking about the United States and Canada, let's say. You can make a big rotation of places where you can do those PLEs. Let's say in Montreal, we are renovating the Olympic Stadium right now, and it could very well fit one of those PLEs, maybe the Royal Rumble, or maybe SummerSlam, or maybe a Survivor Series. I don't think we're ever gonna get a WrestleMania in Montreal, but any 3 of the other big 4, I would settle for that. So what do you think? Tell me what you think in the comments, and what would be your dream card for a 2-night Survivor Series, let's say in 2025. That's it for this week, and thank you for listening to the Wrestling Analyst podcast, Beyond the Bell. If you loved what you heard, smash that subscribe button, drop a like, and hit that notification bell so you never miss the action. Got opinions? Share them in the comments. I want to hear your take. So until next time, stay loud, stay proud, and keep going beyond the bell.